All right, welcome back for part 2 of Mrs. Mack's dubbed over video. Look, we're over halfway done, but you know me, I'm going to skip some more stuff right now, so let's just skip forward and see what we've got. Okay, so you're going to want to know how to use a coordinate grid to find your legs. Because right now I'm giving you the hypotenuse, which is a line between 2 points. And it is at a diagonal, which means I can't just count the squares, right? So I can't just count. I'm actually going to go ahead and play this because I'm probably going to use a pen to tell you all of these things. I can't just go ahead and count up. I'm going to skip forward to where I actually show the counting. From one point to another. Right here, I can't just count 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is it? 6 long? We have no idea because it is the distance between 2 points on a coordinate grid. But what we can do is we can make a right triangle by connecting at a perpendicular intersection a right triangle. So here I got out a ruler because I may not have a fancy calculator at home, but by gosh, I have a straight edge. And without a ruler, my lines are a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to turn this line into the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So there's one leg. And here's the other leg. Now I just need to find the distance between these points, which we can do because they are on either a horizontal or a vertical line, so we can count the distance. So on my horizontal leg, I'm looking at the distance between 1 and 5 on my x-axis, and 5 minus 1 is 4, so that distance is 4. On my vertical axis, the distance between 2 and 5 is 3, and I can count the squares, or I can just say, hey, 5 minus 2 is 3. Oh my goodness, this is like Pythagoras' triangle. So I've got a 3 and a 4. Those are my 2 legs, and we don't know what C is quite yet. So let's go ahead and square them, but we, I think, might already know the answers to this, and we know that 4 squared is 16. And we know that 3 squared is 9, and we know with the Pythagorean Theorem, which I'm going to go ahead and write down again, that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I have 16 plus 9, and that equals c squared, and 16 plus 9 is 25. It's still 25. We just did this on the backside. And we know that the square root of 25 is, everyone just said it, it's 5. That's right. If you need to grab your calculator to do the square root of 25, that's fine. Although that's one you should probably know. Okay, so let's head down to the bottom here and let's look at 2 more examples of doing the Pythagorean theorem on either a coordinate grid or something that isn't just a labeled right triangle. Okay, it says find the length of the diagonal of this rectangle, round to the nearest tenth. Rectangles cut in half diagonally are 2 triangles, which means that the sides of the rectangle are in fact the legs of a right triangle. That diagonal from one corner to the other is the hypotenuse of the right triangle. So I've got that long side of 16 and the shorter side of 10, and that would be A and B. And then our diagonal there, D, we're calling it, is still C, the hypotenuse. So I'm going to go ahead and write it back out again. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I have 10 squared, there's my A, plus 16 squared is c squared, which we don't know. So 10 squared is 100 plus, and here I got my calculator out because I don't know what 16 squared is off the top of my head. Hey, look at me go. And I'm going to show you how to use the square button. So you type in 16, and your squared button on the iPhone is the second row down, second from the left. So it's right above where we were finding the square root, and it has x squared. Ooh, bam, 256. And that equals c squared. All right, so I've got to add those together. Hopefully we don't need a calculator to add 100 plus 256. That's going to give us 356. And that equals the square of our length of our hypotenuse. So I do not know what the square root of 356 is off the top of my head. I know it's less than 20 because 20 times 20 is 400. I say that like I'm nervous about that answer. So I'm going to go ahead and take the square root of 356. I know it's going to be, larger than 16, less than something else, and we're going to figure out what it is. Thanks, handy dandy calculator. All right, I'm going to use my iPhone. So remember, if you're using your iPhone, you have to type the number in first, then you hit that square root button. All right, there we go. So I'm rounding it to the nearest 10. So I've got 18.86 blah, 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 blah. I don't care about the rest of the numbers. I care about that 6. That 6, because it's greater than 5, rounds the 8 up to a 9. So our length of our hypotenuse is roughly 18.9 units. Okay, we're going to look at the length of the diagonal of a right triangle on a coordinate grid. So what we have to do, again, is find the distance between the 2 points, the horizontal and then the vertical lines of our triangle. So I look at the horizontal leg of my triangle. So that's going to be, let me see if, well, now I can't remember if I did the horizontal or the vertical first. Oh, look, I labeled the hypotenuse. Hey, there's C. All right, I'm going to do the horizontal one first. Oh, no, it went blurry again. Okay, so we're looking for that. Oh, that distance is 5. Oh, there it is. It's the distance between -3 and 2, which is 5. Now I have the distance between +3 and -1. Well, 3 minus -1 is 4. So my distance there is 4. Okay, we've got our 2 legs. We got to find our hypotenuse. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, people. Mrs. Mac the second go around is much faster than Mrs. Mac the first go around. Oh, I'm writing it out because we don't want to make mistakes. C squared. All right, so doesn't matter which one is A or B. I made 5A and 4B. Who cares? 5 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. All right, 5 squared is 25. We know that 4 squared is 16, and that equals C squared. I've got to add those two values up. 25 plus 16 is, slow Mrs. Mac, what were you talking about? It's 41. There we go. All right, and 41 is C squared. Now, 41 is not a perfect square. It is somewhere between 6 and 7, because 6 squared is 36 and 7 squared is 49. So I know that it's going to be 6 point something, but I just don't know what. So I'm going to go ahead and use the handy dandy button on my calculator on my iPhone. There we go. And use that square root function. So I'm going to take that 41. And I'm going to hit that button, 3rd row down, 2nd from the left. Hit it, Mrs. Mac. Oop, there we go. All right, I've got 6.40, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's go ahead for accuracy's sake, and even though I didn't say it on here, let's go ahead and round that to the nearest 10th. So if we did that, that would be 6.4 units. I'm skipping forward again. Here we go. Oh, hey, there we go. Look, I wrote it down. I wrote it down so fast you didn't even see me do it. Okay, if you guys have any questions or you need help, and thank you for your patience and understanding. I very much appreciate everything that you guys worked on today and the hot mess that I was with this particular video. So thanks for bearing with me, and let me know if you need any help. Bye.